Hey everybody, it's Cam, and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. So, today, King's Isle released some new teasers for some of the new spells we're going to be receiving here soon on the test realm that's just right around the corner. And we're really excited about them. And I want to talk a little bit about those today, what they are, and kind of my thoughts on what that's going to do for the game and the future of the game from there. So, the 5 spells we're talking about, they were initially teased on Blaze Lifehammer's channel, so if you haven't checked out his video yet, go do that first, and we can come back and talk about it. But awesome video that he put out today, that he's able to tease those for us, and he talked about them really well. So, we'll just hop right into it. So there are 5 new spells that he teased today, and some of them are really cool because they, can change new mechanics of the game and how we are able to play the game, PvE style and even PvP. Definitely some new things we get to play around with in this test realm, and as well as when it's full released, and some new strategies and deck builds that can come with that. So without further ado, we can kind of talk about the first spell here. So the 5 spells that were released were all auras. So 4-round auras that we can use moving forward, and the first one is Cosmic Charge. And what this one does is it is enabled at PvP at level 66, and it gives 20% outgoing Pierce for 4 rounds, Universal Pierce. So super good one for PvP, of course, and as well for PvE if you have a boss that has a lot of resist and you want to go through that resistance, right? And you don't have a lot of pierce yourself, or you have enough and you just want to make sure you're piercing through a shield. Super useful to have, and a really fun card we can use, having that bubble around yourself and that aura, be able to get that extra pierce. The next card we have is Stabilize. So this is the upgraded version of Brace. This one can be used at max level 170 for PvP, minus 25% incoming damage. So Brace is already good in itself, right? Taking out 20%, but this is a fourth, 25% that we're taking away damage wise. So really good for tank classes. If you're fighting a boss in PvE that hits pretty heavy on the tanks, right? They can cast this aura on themselves, take reduced damage, and be able to last longer in those fights. And then this card for PvP as well can be super beneficial because, again, you can take reduced damage if you're setting it for your hit. You can be able to survive throughout that time. So, again, updated version of Brace, can't use it to 170 for PvP. Don't know what level it'll be available for PvE or for level to get it, but got a 0 pip, so super beneficial. The last card I believe was 1 pip, so but this one's a 0 pip spell, so it should be pretty easy to use and access in both PvE and PvP. The third card that was teased today is where we get into the fun stuff, the new mechanics of the game. It's called Attenuate, and what it does is it gives plus 20% incoming damage for 4 rounds. And what's different about it is, you can see I said incoming damage, is that you can place it on the enemy. So if you have a boss that you're wanting to put on an extra 20% buff towards, or even in PvP, you can place it on the opponent you're facing. So a little bit different how we can put auras on our opponents now. And what changes is not only that, but we can also take away the current aura that they may have on. And so be super strategic in PvP to seeing when you're going to place it on them, to remove them if you're about to set up for a hit and everything like that. And for PvE, of course, if there are bosses that have an aura on, like a Brace or even a Stabilize as we move forward throughout the game, we can be able to remove that and turn it to a plus 20% damage buff. And then for bosses that do cheat, for what it seems like is that they'll be able to put it back on whatever their bubble was. If it was like an immunity bubble or something like that, it seems like that we would have put that back on if you were to cast this on them, but we'll kind of get further detail on that in test realm and everything that goes on there. So we'll see what that does in that case, but for normal bosses as well as for PvP, you'll be able to place it on the opponents, removing their current bubbles, or removing their current auras that they have on. And again, this one will be available for level 56 in PvP. 0 pip spell. The next spell that we have is 0 pip Pathogen, available at 52 for PvP. This is minus 50% outgoing healing for 4 rounds. So another one that you can place on your opponents in PvP and PvE, right? Malistaire. There's the Blaze did a really good way of describing it. Like, hey, we use Doom on Malistaire to make sure you can't heal, right? This same thing is we can go ahead and use that on him, minus 50% outgoing, and then if you're fighting a boss and they have a minion, or it's a 2-boss fight, one of them's a life, and they're healing a lot, you can place it on them. And then for PvP as well, be able to take out that healer and make sure they're not able to regen as much. So another one that you can place on the opponent, super cool mechanic that we're adding into the game here, and super excited to see how these turn the strategies around for PvE and both PvP as well. So Pathogen, super cool spell Z. Final spell that was used today was Starfall. 0 pip aura, level 56 for PvP. Kind of like a weakness for 4 rounds, is minus 15% outgoing damage for that 4-round turn. So again, can be super beneficial for hard-hitting bosses in PvE, and then if you know the opponent's got a lot of pips, and in PvP you feel like they're about to hit, you can cast this on them to make sure they're doing less damage to you, and can prevent that for multiple rounds. So super cool spell. Again, the new mechanic, I'm super excited to see how that plays into everything, and just pretty hyped about the upcoming test run in general with magic weaving and everything that goes into that. So we're going to see a lot of change coming here. I'm presuming the test run will be coming out next week, because they're planning on teasing some more mechanics this weekend on their developer test, or KI Live and everything like that. So we'll see what that'll look like, and I can't wait to test out these features for myself. And I know a lot of other people are excited as well. One of the things I look forward to personally is, they're adding 100+ new spells, and we've only, seen a handful of them teased so far. Definitely excited to see what else they have in store for us. If there's more new mechanics that they're in the game, like being able to cast auras on your opponents, and stuff like that, especially with the new magic weaving. So let me know your guys' thoughts. I personally am super excited to see how this plays out and be able to use these new spells. So leave your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you did enjoy, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys all next time. See ya.